All right. Okay, we live. We on. Give me a replay, gang, if you watching the replay. My name's Haziq Ali. We about to get this party started in a hot second, y'all. This has been an incredible week. I can't believe it's already Friday. You know, but it is, baby. We made it. We made it once again. TGIF for me, that mean the grind includes Friday. Young Coco in the house. What's up, Queen? Make sure you share this with somebody who wants to grow their business. Me too, straight up. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Tag somebody in it that needs it. Tag somebody in it that needs it, y'all. Good morning, Taisha in the house, Sienna. What's up, Sienna? Patrice, good morning, Queen. Taisha, what's up, homie? How y'all feeling this beautiful Friday right here? How we feeling out here? It's almost time to get this party started. Good morning, millionaires. It's Free Coaching Friday, man. I hope y'all got some good questions for us. I'm gonna go ahead and also call in on the line. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Scale of 1 to 10. How was your week this week? Right now, we're talking about your business, right? Scale of 1 to 10. How was your business this week? How did you do? If you're rocking with us on YouTube or you're rocking with us on Facebook, let us know how was it? Scale of 1 to 10 this week. While y'all are doing that, I'm gonna greet the phone. Let me get everybody going. All right, here we go.
Please announce yourself. All participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
All right.
Entry and exit tones are off.
Okay, it's 7:30 a.m. Eastern by my dial, and therefore it's time for me to say good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning. My name's Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration coach and somebody who has dedicated his life to helping entrepreneurs go further, faster, with less effort. I have a real passion for it. I'm the type of person who don't give up on you. You probably gonna quit on yourself before I quit on you. And, at the end of the day, my consistency and my certainty is built around this idea that I know I can grow your business. I know if you knew better, you would do better. I know for a fact that information changes situations, and then it goes ahead and changes generations, y'all. So today is dedicated to you. Some of you know the 7 steps. You see me kind of bragging in the title. I'm like, I can grow your business in 7 steps. Like, I know this to be a fact because I've done it for so many different types of businesses on so many different levels. Even our own company, God is Good, is beginning to experience increase the more, we're able to employ these principles. It is insane how well this stuff works. And so this morning, I want you to write it down. At the end of the day, we're talking about leads, meaningful conversation. Somebody put leads in the comments for me. Somebody put leads in the comments for me. Leads in your notes. Write the word leads in your notes. This sounds simple, but what I'm telling you is these are the fundamentals of your business that they never taught you. Leads, y'all. Leads are the people that you're spending all of this time kind of like creating. Your whole goal when we say you got to add value before you become valuable is that you're trying to make the people who you can most easily help, right? You're trying to help the people who are going to have the greatest effect with what it is that you offer as a solution. This group of people right here will go from 0 to 100 if you could just get your hands on them. Well, see, that's called a lead. When you look at your business and you understand that this is a vehicle to get you to your dreams and leads are the gasoline, you'll start thinking about all the different ways that you can attract, that you can serve, that you can put yourself in front of, that you can be perceived as an expert to this group of people. We call them leads. And if you just look at your business and what your lead looks like and what you can be doing to present something irresistible to that type of person, I guarantee you increase. So we're going to talk about that a little bit if y'all want to. The second one is meaningful conversation. Can somebody give me meaningful conversation in the comments? Meaningful conversation. What is meaningful conversation, y'all? What is meaningful conversation? Meaningful conversation is around this idea that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Does that make sense to somebody out there? Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. This is a rule of life. So what is a meaningful conversation? Meaningful conversation is when they leave knowing you care and you leave knowing what to care about. Can you hear me out there? How good are your meaningful conversations that you're having with your clients? If you're a Kaizenite, then you know last week we went into a whole course just dedicated to questions. Questions are the transportation system for the human consciousness. I dare you, come up with a list of 25 powerful questions that you can pose to the world, that you can pose to that perfect lead, that you can pose to that strategic partner, that you can pose to that referral alliance, that you can pose to your significant other, that you can pose when it's time to get them to ask you, can they buy what it is you sell? That can help you have a meaningful conversation. Millionaires, even if you weren't on that class, I want to challenge you to come up with a list of 25 really powerful questions that you can ask that will help you to have more meaningful conversation with people. All right. After that is appointments. Millionaires, the third step to the revenue acceleration cycle is always going to be appointments. Somebody give me appointments in the comments. Somebody give me appointments in the comments. What is the point about appointments, y'all? Appointments help you set the environment for the sale. What a lot of amateurs do, I don't care what walk of life you're in, is they try to mix the invitation with the presentation. This is why people's ads don't work. This is why people's little sales pitches don't work. It's because you have not done what you need to do to show them that you're not a salesperson, you're a consultant. You haven't done what it takes to show them that you're the big brother, you're the big sister. You haven't done what it takes to show them that they're in good hands with Allstate. What do I mean? I mean that you need to set an appointment so that you can go and do some research based on this meaningful conversation you just had. If that conversation was truly meaningful, millionaire, you got work to do. That means now it's time for you to go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, am I being one size fits all, or am I customizing my approach to fit this kind of lead? Now you say, Hazik, I ain't got time to go into that with this kind of lead. Well, then that means you need to charge more. Hazik, I don't have time to go into all of that with this kind of lead. Well, let me tell you what that means. That means you need to stop talking to the end user and spend all your time dealing with people who have lists of your end user. If they're not worth it to you, it's because there ain't enough fruit on that tree. You got to use more depth of vision. I'll tell you, some people look at an acorn and they see squirrel food. Other people see a forest. Other people see a city that could come from a forest. What is your depth of vision when you're looking at that lead? In other words, if you're in financial services, maybe you stop thinking people with bad credit and you start thinking furniture stores that are constantly running into people that need to finance things. For instance, if you're in the credit game, maybe you stop thinking people with bad credit and you start thinking tax professionals who are dealing with people with bad credit constantly, because most times anybody who's getting a big refund is probably somebody with subprime credit. Maybe you stop thinking end user and you start thinking people who have lists of your end users. The whole idea is you want to set an appointment so you can research. Here's number 4, y'all, presentations. The fourth one is presentations. Is this making sense? Write this in your notes. Number 4 is presentations. Listen to me. I can grow any business just by looking at your presentation. How good is your presentation at knocking down the objections you know are going to come up before they even mention them? My God, by now you should be able to write down 7 objections you always hear. There probably ain't no more than 7. A lot of y'all only hear 5. Some of y'all only hear 3. Why isn't your presentation knocking those down yet with a powerful story about somebody who felt the same way you know they feeling, and yet you knocked it out the park when you were given an opportunity? How good is your presentation? Number 5 is conversion, right? Conversion, that's the straw that stirred the drink. Conversion is when we sell them something. Conversion is when it's time to posit an exchange instead of mix of action, right? So how good are you at converting? How good are you at making an offer that's absolutely irresistible to that perfect kind of client? Remember, we call them a lead. You got to share this with somebody if they need help with their conversion, because I'm guaranteeing you in the next couple minutes, I can grow your business. Now, it's going to have to do with you being willing to ask the questions. But number 5 was conversion. Number 6 is follow up. Everybody knows fortune is in the follow up, even if you hate doing it. And there's a bunch of different ways you can follow up. You probably aren't thinking of all of them. You probably don't know the 17 different. Listen to me. You need to follow up not just when they don't buy. You need to learn to follow up when they do, because follow up is what creates the retention. Follow up is what creates the gratitude. Follow up is what creates the loyalty, especially after they've already given you some money. You don't understand. Everything you did before you gave them some money, they said to themselves, well, darn, I was entitled to that because they know I'm about to pay they butt. But what I'm saying is, after they pay you is when you have the ability to create real magnetism. After you pay them and you show up, that's when you have the ability to have them say, damn, I'm going to feel good about myself referring this person, because that's why people give you referrals. They want to feel superior to their friends. So at the point you go above and beyond, you've now hit this level in their head where they understand that you are special. And then that brings us to number 7, y'all. That brings us to number 7. Number 7 is upsells. What do you have built into your system, even if your company hasn't given it to you? What do you have built into your system that makes it so that after they let you solve a $10 problem, they'll let you solve a $100 problem? And after you solve a $100 problem for them, they'll let you solve a $1,000 problem. Don't you see, in this world full of smoke and mirrors, they've been praying for somebody like you. Can't you see that? So why are you letting somebody else take over from here? You've solved this problem, created a whole new problem for them, because every level brings new devils. Why are you turning them over to a stranger? That doesn't make sense, but you just aren't thinking this thing out. So that does it for our little intro. Those are the 7 steps. Now it's on you, right? Now it's on you. What are your questions that could have helped you improve your business this week? What stopped you from being number 1 in your industry? We're rocking on Clubhouse. We're rocking on YouTube. We're rocking on the Millionaire Mind Line. And then on top of all of that, y'all, we're on Facebook. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can put your question in the comments. If you're on Clubhouse, raise your hand. If you're on the Millionaire Mind Line, *6 will unmute your line. Welcome to Free Coaching Friday. All right, good morning, millionaire. Say your name, what kind of business you have, and then let's hear the question.
I think I heard a lady, but then I'll let her go first.
Yeah, this is Vita Lachey from Atlanta, Georgia. I have a personal development and coaching business. I was brought into the call by Mr. Michael Douglas. And so I think, first of all, thank you for the class on Saturday for the questions. It was amazing. And so my question kind of comes from that class. And so I understand that the questions are but having those 25 questions are very important. However, in the class, what I think that I got the most out of was the 8 tonalities. That is more important. I mean, you got to have that right in order to get the questions right.
Yeah.
So my question is, understanding each one of those is important. So when I was looking back through them, tonality 1, which is I care and I really want to know, and tonality 3, which is mystery and intrigue, you gave an example and said, how did you get through that? And I really thought that was more like intrigue, but you said it was I really wanted to know. And so how do you distinguish between the two? Because I need to be able to know how to distinguish between I really want to know and I'm intrigued in order to get them right. So
yeah. So when we say mystery, and so everybody, she's talking about our last Kaizen Academy course. For those that don't know, we have an academy for entrepreneur habits, and it's designed to give you actionable steps, like things, technology you can apply instantly to your business that helps you grow it, right? A lot of this stuff we just weren't taught in business school. Half the time, our business school teacher didn't even have a business. Anyway, so what she's talking about is this one portion of the course where we started talking about how it's not just what you ask, it's how you ask it. And so we gave you 8 different tonalities that you can play with. All of that's in the archives of the Kaizen Academy if you want to check it out. If you want to join the academy, then just ask me for the link. But the bottom line is that, what's crazy is that when you hear it, see, the whole thing is, one is you being interested in them. That's the first one you said. The latter one is where you're creating more interest from them. So when you're being sincere and you're just like, man, so how much have you saved so far for your retirement? It doesn't feel like I'm judgmental when I use that tone. It feels like I'm really like light on my feet and like, hey, I'm just, but when I'm adding intrigue to it, it's just like, so how much would you say that you've put aside so far for retirement? That's more like I got something coming. Like that's more like the way I'm saying it makes you feel like I must be asking for a reason. Am I making sense? See, one is I'm being mysterious. I'm holding it back. That's the last one I did. But one is more like sincerity. Like I'm really naive. I just don't get it. Like, I just need to understand. But I'm very polite. I'm very sincere. I'm almost lilting with my words. But with the other one, I'm more in control and I'm pulling back. I'm not revealing everything that I got. It's a real close tonality to when you create scarcity. When we talked about you kind of like talking like this, you know what I mean? That's a whole other tonality. But now it makes them lean forward because whatever I'm saying like this has got to be important. So if you keep on going through them and I'm glad you asked for that nuance because mastery is always in the nuances, right? But keep on going through that portion of it and keep practicing them. The nuances will reveal themselves to you. Is this helping, Queen?
yes, thank you so much.
Listen, you can't delegate your push-ups, y'all. And I want you to understand, Queen, or in your case, you can't delegate your hairdo, right? You the one got to sit in the chair, right? Well, this is one of those kinds of things. I promise you've increased just by having this more powerful and wide perspective on the opportunities you have and the choices you have to play with. So I'm proud of you for taking note of those different tonalities and just practice it, Queen. Practice it. It's going to come alive for you. All right. Who else? Good morning, millionaire. Make sure that you are posting your questions in the comments. Yeah, Grand Risings, King. Hold on just a second. Make sure you are posting your questions in the comments so we can keep this thing going with the time that we have, y'all. We ain't going to have much time together, but think your business out. Use those 7 we gave you. Think your business out and try your best to ask a high value question. It's going to be valuable for you and it's going to be valuable for everybody else that's listening. Yes, sir. Good morning. millionaire.
All right, y'all. Michael Douglas, Florence, South Carolina. I turn my clients' profiles into ATM machines at the rulesofengagementacademy.com. That's rulesofengagementacademy.com. No duh. You're tired of struggling? Head on over. Sign up for one of the packages right now. Okay. So last night we were on the Kaizen Lab, and we went over what is your duck? When you spoke about the Peabody Hotel, and they do the duck walk at the same time every day.
Yeah.
So, and if someone was to imitate you, what would they do? And then you went into a story about Halloween and something else. Could you go into that a little bit?
Oh, you talking about Halloween, Halloween and karaoke. So what I was telling them, y'all.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. What I was telling them, y'all, is that at the end of the day, man, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, like when you are, what's the best way to put this, right? If you look at the world of artistry, right? Artists, I always consider artists entrepreneurs with ideas, right? Artists are entrepreneurs, but with their ideas. Just like I consider athletes peak performance specialists, I feel like you can learn a lot from artists because they are entrepreneurs as well. It's just that their product or their service is their idea. Just follow me for a minute. I know that sounds crazy, but just walk with me. Check this out. Millionaires, every artist pretty much that you can think of in this world of entertainment, if you notice, you can either imitate them for Halloween or you'd be able to imitate them in karaoke. It's either a way they talk, like, you know, if you think of iconic artists like DMX, he's like, "Where my dog?" You know what I'm saying? Like everything is like a dog and all of that. Or if you look at Janelle Monáe, she would wear nothing but these white and black costumes. But I mean, it's like that for everybody. You can imitate, you can show up. There was a time when Nicki Minaj first came out where you could show up, ladies, right, as Nicki Minaj for Halloween. And everybody's instantly going to recognize you because maybe you have this neon wig on, or maybe you have, right? It's like that for everybody who's anybody. And so when you're talking about what are you doing to stand out as a business, we gave them the example of the Peabody Hotel. But really what I'm trying to say is that because they do this duck walk every day and everybody knows them for that, right? Across the pond. But what I'm saying is, what about you? Like, I don't care if it's a pizza parlor, right? Well, I mean, there's this guy named Stuart Wilde who be talking about how if you have a pizza parlor and you build a moat around that joint, put alligators in it, and then you're like, our pizza's so good, people risk their lives to come eat it, you know? What are you doing to create wow? W-O-W. Anything wow always creates loyalty. And so the point that we were trying to make with that, because what he's referring to is in that course on questions, we started you off asking yourself some questions. Like there's all kinds of questions that you really should be asking yourself because the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of the questions you're asking yourself. The quality of your business is literally dependent on the quality of the questions you're asking about your business. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying to you is that first we started off asking ourselves questions. And one of the questions we asked in a little cute tongue-in-cheek way was, what is your duck? Well, that's a serious question for you. You're not going to be outstanding if you're not standing out. And so, you know, yesterday, it's funny because we were talking about these laws of mental toughness. And if you remember, number 4 was think outside the box. If you remember, number 4 was like, well, this is one of those, it's like, what are you doing to show everybody you're completely different? Is it a certain outfit you wear? Like maybe you're a chef and you also do credit repair. Well, do you have aprons that say chef credit score or whatever? You get what I'm saying to you. What are you doing to make it so that if they're looking at somebody normal that does what you do, and then they're looking at you, you stand out. All of a sudden, you're the one that's worthy of the news article. All of a sudden, you're the one that's worthy of conversation. All of a sudden, you're the one that's worthy of love or hate. Because don't forget, All we want to do is be in a conversation. There's this book, when you talk about what your duck is, right? Sometimes your duck is the hook that makes you newsworthy. 50 Cent in his book, he was breaking down how when Oprah wouldn't bring him on the show, that looks weird to the audience that he wants to be in, the universe he wants to be in. He done sold 10 million records. If he ain't an A-list celebrity, who the hell is A-list? But Oprah won't let him on. So he's got to take control of the narrative. He has to think outside the box at this point. So what does he do? He names his dog after Oprah. He starts going on different shows talking about how Oprah's representative of her audience and therefore she's scared of me. He starts putting all of this shine on how Oprah ain't really for, black people and black culture and all of that. So one day he runs into Gayle King, Oprah's best friend, and Gayle is like, why you keep messing with my homegirl? Because I don't know if you know, but Gayle is a whole, G out here. Like, she don't take no shorts. And then 50 said something to her that got him on the show. He said, listen, if we can't be friends, can we at least be enemies? Nipsey Hussle ironically said something right before he was murdered on his Twitter page. He was like, I'm so grateful for powerful enemies, or he said something crazy like that. See, what you got to understand is we all have to function. Physics means that two opposing forces are just it's resistance how you fly, baby. Resistance is how you fly. My point to you is that everything has to coexist if it exists at all. So sometimes we're trying to conjure hate. Sometimes we're trying to conjure love, but what we're not trying to do is be left out the conversation. 50 Cent goes on to explain, some people love me, some people hate me, but at least they're expressing an opinion about me. And next thing you know, maybe the friend they're expressing that opinion about won't feel as strongly about that. Maybe matter of fact, they'll think I have some good points. Now, all of a sudden they're checking out this book. He was like, maybe that's how you got to this book. Maybe that's how you got to my Instagram page. Maybe that's how you got to my show. He was like, when I was doing the show on Power, why would I battle somebody like Empire? They kept trying to put me up against some free show on TV. I'm not in no black versus white battle. He said, if I'm a battle somebody, let me battle somebody that's on a paid network like me. So he took on Game of Thrones. And then he'd do things like post memes where somebody done put 50's head on a dragon. And then he's like, who did this? Head's gonna roll. Meanwhile, he had his graphic designer do it just to create viral moments like that. Do you know they started battling with Game of Thrones, a show where the budget for each episode is something like $100 million? It's because he was thinking outside the box. I don't know how much a Power episode costs, but it ain't $100 million an episode. And yet he was starting to match them in ratings. As a matter of fact, today, HBO can't put up nothing that's doing the numbers of Power. But it's because of this out the box thinking. There's example after example like that I can pull from 50 Cent. I mean, you know how I'm always talking in revenue acceleration. You talking about what's your duck. Sometimes you can pull your duck from another industry. Something that's really normal in another industry will set off a nuclear bomb in your industry. Like, I can't forget who, but the roll-on pin either borrowed from roll-on deodorant or it was vice versa. I know Berry Gordy pulled the line of the assembly line that he put Motown artists through from Henry Ford, who had the assembly line where he was building cars, and then Henry Ford got that plant concept, from Carter G. Woodson, since it's Black History Month. Let me throw that at you. That's why they call a factory a plant. George Washington Carver. He made 500, he saved Southern agriculture because the boll weevil was destroying everything. And they start planting soybeans because the boll weevil couldn't eat the soybeans, but now they got a surplus of soybeans. George Washington Carver went in there and created hundreds of products from soybeans. Then the same thing with peanuts and then sweet potatoes. My point is, Henry Ford went to him as a mentee. George Washington Carver taught Henry Ford the wonders of the plant and how the plant has sort of an assembly line system. Next thing you know, Henry Ford had these plants that he would build automobiles in, and everybody's coming to Detroit to work in his plants, So then on top of that, you're talking about the fact that, 50 Cent, I got an example from 50 Cent where he would do signings like they used to do in the record business, but he would do it for Ciroc. I'm sorry, for whatever his vodka's called, effing vodka. because in these small towns, they never met a celebrity. And if they'd stand around the block for one CD, they'd stand around the block for some liquor, right? And so he has them all standing in line for the liquor, but they've been standing in line so long for the liquor that now they buy 2 bottles. And they say, damn, I'm gonna need one for the night. I know Uncle Larry gonna come over this weekend, and then the holidays coming up. Let me go ahead and get him to sign 3 bottles. That's him taking something that the music business would do anyway. So I'm saying that to say that, like, yeah, you can do a lot of different creative exercises. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a Kaizen Academy just on creativity soon, where I'm just going to give you all these thinking exercises you can do that just cut your neurons on in a different way. But I hope that was a helpful answer, Michael Douglas. That was a strong question, brother. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I know the all my Kaizenites are like, oh, if you're not in the Kaizen Academy, that's why you got to get in there, because there's some powerful stuff going on in there that will create powerful ideas about your business. You can just reach out to me if you want to join. Okay, but let's continue with Good Morning Millionaire. We got time for one more, and then we're going to get to our affirmations, y'all. You can call in on the live line or join us on Clubhouse if you want to kind of get down with the affirmation side of what we do. I highly suggest it, because if information alone could do it, everybody would be skinny, happy, and rich. So clearly it ain't just the information. Some of it has to be our programming. Good Morning Millionaire.
Great morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. I think we got King. That sounded like Baba Yoga. We're going to let the elder go first, and then we'll get to the young king.
Yes. Great rising. I'm going to be just short and brief. All I wanted to do was to take advantage of the last day of Black History Month, but the first day of Black Fantasticness, and every day, because I just wanted to let it be known. About Ghani all the time. What's to do?
Kuji Chagalia. All right, that's what's up. Appreciate that. All right, good morning, millionaire. Star 6 when I mute your line. I know we had somebody else. Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Smith out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
DJ Jamal put me on the line over 4 years ago.
Yes, sir.
So I guess this morning is more of a comment. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I guess this morning is more of a comment. I've been practicing asking more questions, even in my personal life when I'm talking to my wife or my friends. And it's so beautiful, man, because it gives off my real intention for what I'm seeking to understand, as well as feeds the person I'm asking questions to. Sometimes it makes them allows them to go more introspective into what's, the root of whatever they're thinking or whatever the problem they may be experiencing, and allows me to kind of heal as well and help, be a part of the solution in a lot of cases. So I know that's a transferable concept over into business. But then the other thing about, the business side of this is that I used to think that, man, I just want to make a sale and keep moving. I don't want to do all these lingering steps. I just want your money and keep it moving. But as I have evolved, I'm far from that type of thinking anymore. And for longevity and to have that, consistent money coming each and every month, I've got to be more, I have to add more depth instead of kind of shallowness to my approach. So I just wanted to share that, and thank you for this.
You're so welcome, bro. And that what you're talking about is maturity. You got to think about it. As a baby, we could just cry and then things would happen, right? But what happens is we move into a different season, and then people treat us different. They expect differently from us. We're now in a season where they expect different from their service people. We're now in a season where you can order a pair of Nikes, bro, and the Nikes will come with your name on the tongue, monogrammed. You can set up the colors of and this is and it costs the same amount as just buying them from the store. We're in a new season. So people's expectations are different than if we were in a different kind of like you expect different things from a teenager than you do a toddler. And so I just want to point out how powerful that observation was that Joseph just made, y'all, because it is a shame if you got a farmer out there planting in winter and then he comes up with the conclusion that this planting stuff don't work. Oh my God, no, it's that he's immature. It's that he's naive. He does not understand the laws of the world he's playing in. And that's what we're talking about with entrepreneurship. So many of us don't understand the laws of the world we're playing in. And so we're still acting as if we're a baby. We're still crying out. We're saying, why won't my people support me? Why won't they take me serious? Why won't they give me some money? And it's because we're thinking like a little baby. We're thinking like a little baby. As we become more mature, we start to grow, right? We start to grow in our leadership. We start to grow in our awareness. We start to grow in our mindset. We start to grow in our perspective. You know, we start to grow in both our strategy and our tactics, right? Everything starts to switch up for us. But it's kind of like rereading a book a year later. It's not the book that changed. You're like, damn, you know what? I don't know how many of you have ever done that. Anybody out there ever reread a book? You ever reread a book 2 or 3 years later? Listen to me. You'll say to yourself, darn, what happened? I don't even remember getting this from. But it's not that the book changed. It's that you changed. And so congratulations, Brother Joseph. That feeling you felt right there is called growth. All right, y'all. So we about to go get to our affirmations. You are welcome to join us on either Clubhouse or on the live line. All you got to do is type that number in and come rock with us. But I'm going to tell you what we about to do. We about to get it in. And affirmations feel weird to people. I know they do. You know, a lot of us have been taught that like that stuff is for weirdos. But I'm going to tell you what's for weirdos. Constantly getting pummeled with bad news constantly. To the point where when you happy, people be like, why are you so happy? I'd be like, why are you so miserable? How come your nervous system is just set on hell? Oh, I know why. Because you're living in a world full of marketing. United States advertising. And the main purpose of marketing is to make you feel like you'd feel a lot better if you only had this. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is they teach and preach lack. They teach and preach that you are not enough when the devil is a lie. What I'm saying is you got everything that you need to have everything that you want, but you're like an elephant that's tied up in that circus tent with a little rope. It should be able to snap like a spider web. Because you don't believe you can break the rope, you can't even release the power that's inside you. And that's why we do affirmations every day, because we try and release that power. So you can come join us if you want to be weird with us. But I'm going to tell you, in a world where it's normal to be obese, poor, and miserable, I'd rather be weird. Cheers to the weird, baby. TGIF, the grind includes Friday. I love y'all. Repeat after me. I am so happy.